Hello guys, welcome back to this C++ video tutorial. Again, my name is still Radolf. Now in the previous tutorial we were able to learn what the break and the continuum statements are. Now we knowing what the break and the continuum statements are, then that means we can move on and also learn what the switch statement is and how it really works. Now the switch statement allows a variable to be tested against a list of values. Now the switch statement is just like the if-else statement. For me to have an if-else statement and test a lot of times a certain variable, I can use the switch statement to do that, which is quite easier than the if-else statement. Now the syntax for the switch statement is what I have over here. So first of all, to use the switch statement to perform an operation, we need the keyword or a reserved word, which is switch. Then we are going to keep in an expression over here, which is mostly a variable. Then after that we have cases, which are going to take the constants. Okay, so this case is going to take a case in which a number is this or a string is that or that. When we start, you really understand. So we can test a lot of values or a lot of strings with these cases, and after that we go ahead and introduce in this optional default word over here. Now this default means that when all these cases are wrong, you should come for the default. It's just like the else statement in the if else statement, okay, or the nested else if statement. So for us to really get what we mean, let's go ahead and build a program on this. And as I said earlier on, first of all we need to introduce the keyword switch, but we need a variable to work it. So I'll have int num, and I'll set num equals a number like 10. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use switch to test this variable a lot of times. So I'll say switch, then what variable am I testing? I'm testing the number. It's num rather. Okay, now after this I open my body for the whole switch statement like so. Now after this I'm going to say in case the number is 9, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to write only case. Then if it's the case that the number is 9, then what should the program do? Then the program should only simply print, hey, like Ibrahimovic, like so. Okay, so if the number becomes 9 over here, this is what will print out on the screen, or the codes over here will execute. Okay, but one thing you need to notice that after everything in your first case or any other case, you need to introduce your break. Remember, we've treated the break in the previous tutorial, and I know you really understand what the break is. This means that the program should stop over here, executions should stop over here, and it shouldn't continue to the rest of the cases we are about to build. Okay, so I'm going to have a different case. So I'll say if there is a case that the number is 8, then what should print out, or what should the program do? You can write a lot of codes in here, but with this I'm just outputting a simple thing so we can understand. So if it's the case that the number is 8, then I will say you like Iniesta, like this, then my Iniesta. Then after this, don't forget to introduce your break. That is very important. Okay, so after this I can introduce in a lot of cases to be tested with the variable, but for the sake of time I'm going to introduce in my last case, and I'll say if the case is 10, then I should see something like see out, I'll say Messi is your best player, like this. Okay, so this is what the program is going to do. If there is a case that the number that the user input or the variable is equal to 9, then it's going to execute this code over here, and it will break it without the program extending to case 8, case 10, or any other case inside. Okay, so first of all, let me go ahead, build and run, and I have Messi is your best player because I have the case to be 10 over here, I have the number to be 10, and therefore it should print Messi is your best player. Okay, now if I change this to, let me say, 8, then build and run, then it's going to print you like Iniesta. Okay, so if I change this to 9, then you know that Ibrahimovic, you like Ibrahimovic will be printed out on the screen. But what if the user enters a number that is not found in the program, like 7, maybe CR7 or something, build and run, and nothing happens? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the default last option. Okay, and now what this is going to do is going to execute the code if the number that the user chooses is not part of our cases. Okay, I have to break over here, so I'll say the default should be I should see out something like, hey, go play basketball, like so. Okay, so now when I build and run this program, I have, hey, go play basketball on the screen. Okay, so that's it for the switch statement. It's really cool and it's really simple to use. It can test a lot of cases. You can nest in a lot of cases, as many as you want. You don't have any limit to that. Okay, so that is it for this tutorial, and I will be glad meeting you in my next tutorial. Bye.